Internet, it's me. Now, once again, the title of the game is in the title of this video, so there's no need to be coy. I'm playing Pokerogue. If you don't know what that is, yeah, a lot of people probably wouldn't. Although it says 11,000 people are playing right now, so maybe some people do. But anyway, I'm going to get into this, and then I'm going to talk about it, because it's kind of fun. Okay, so here we go. I've started a new game, and I guess actually let me back up. What this game is, as the name suggests, it's a Pokemon roguelike. Now, this is different than a lot of roguelikes. For example, it has Pokemon in it. But also because, like a lot of roguelikes, there's always something that you achieve or acquire while playing a run-through that is carried over when you die. This is no exception. But here, it's not items or experience or any of that. Instead, what you do is... I've gotten ahead of myself. I should start over again. You know what? I'll explain it as we play. So I'll leave both of those half-started explanations just floating in the ether for now, and we'll just do a thing. As you can see on the screen, I'm pointing at my laptop as though what I'm pointing at is not taking up the rest of the screen around me. But as you can see, you have all the starters to choose from at first, and each of them have a small number in the top left corner, and that number represents the amount of points it takes to add that Pokemon to your party. You can see in the bottom right corner there, it says 0 out of 10. That is the counter of how many points you've used so far. For example, I will add Charmander to my party. You will see he costs 3 points, and now I'm utilizing 3 out of the 10. Let's add everyone's favorite sex icon to my party as well. And then, just for fun, let's get the otter. And ta-da! There we go. Charizard, Weed Cat, and a little wet otter. That's my starting party, and I am out of points, so I can't fill the rest of the party. So I will go over, and blah blah blah. Go down, hit start. Now the game begins in proper. I have my party, and I am entered into an infinite battler. This is just a series of Pokemon battles, one after another. As you can see. Now I will say that the sprites for these Pokemon have all been taken from different sources. So while some are animated, some are not. But it's fine. It's not, like, it doesn't matter. It's not something that you notice enough to where you would really care. So anyway, your goal is to kill as many of these guys as you can. However, you also have the option to capture them. Basically, you just want to survive the round. Now you see on the screen here, when you catch something, it shows you its stats, tells you the moveset, its ability in nature, its gender, all of that. And then you see here, I gained a candy. Those will come up later. For now, we'll just ignore that. Like the newer Pokemon games, whether you kill or capture something, you can experience it away. So, yay for that. And then at the end of each individual little round, you get this. The top row here are items that you can buy. Yes, stop with the tutorial. I'm giving my own tutorial to my audience. I don't need you. Stop! I'm sorry, it wants to be verbose. Whoops, clicked it too many times. Okay, so the top row here are items you can buy. It's always going to be healing items. Potions, antidotes, burn heals, revives, things like that. The bottom row are always more randomized things. You'll see the potion, 5 Pokeballs, and then here a nugget, which will give me a bunch of money. You'll notice the nugget text is in blue. That's because it's a rarer drop. Sometimes you will get drops that are rare or even very rare. Things like evolution items or really good utilities like a candy bowl that will make it so rare candy levels a Pokemon up by 2 instead of 1. You'll get the band that lets you, Mega Evolve your Pokemon. or perform crystallysis, all those kinds of things. So rare items are good. And more on how you get those. Actually, you know what? No, I'll mention it right now because it's on the screen. You see here where it says Luck D. Again, I'm pointing at the screen. You're looking up here, not where I'm pointing. That luck determines how often you get rare items. And you increase your luck by having shiny Pokemon in your party. Now, you may be thinking, hey, Mr. Awkward Gamer, sir, I can turn this down. How do I get shiny Pokemon? I just chose my Pokemon from a menu. Do you randomly get shinies? And the answer is no, you do not. However, as you play the game, you may encounter random shinies in the wilds, or you may hatch shinies in eggs. And if you manage to capture a shiny wild Pokemon or hatch a shiny Pokemon, then it is added to your starting lineup. If you remember the screen where we saw all the Pokemon we could choose from to create our party, everything you catch gets added to that. So, for example, so far I've caught a Bidoof and now a Shroomish, and those will both be added to my collection of Pokemon that I can start the game with. Okay, so here you'll see multiple rare items. These two are just rare. This one is super rare. So I can permanently increase the PP of one of my moves, which is good because the only way to heal it would be get an ether on this screen. There's no Pokemon centers or anything. I can get the map, which allows me to choose what biome I go to next. I'll explain that in a bit. And then the lure, which makes it so I have a decent chance of getting double battles for the next 25 rounds. For now, I'll just go with the map. And you'll see a new icon has appeared in the top left of the screen. Those are my permanent items, or held items, really. It's any items that are doing an effect show up in that corner. I will not switch. There's no reason to. Except he's probably going to kill me. And let's catch this bug, too. Blah, 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 blah. So many words. I should have run... See, I wanted to start a brand new run for this to show you what the game is like from the very beginning. However, it doesn't disable the tutorial if you do that, so I should have thought ahead. Anywho, I now have a full party. Yay for me. And once again, got some rare items to choose from. Here we go. The EXP charm is always great. Get more experience, level up quicker. Ultra Balls are also really good because you want to catch things and add them to your starter lineup and also get those candies. I'm hoping... I really want it to show us the same Pokemon again. It has not done that yet, but I want it to. Cool. He's dead. That's fine. I kind of want this round to end anyway. I just want to show you all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. So, I am going to attempt to catch this Eevee. Yay for me. Okay, so we have an Eevee now too. Good deal. So once you have 6, just like in the game, you have the option to, when you catch a new Pokemon, you can swap it into your active party for one of your existing. However, if you don't, the difference between this game and a traditional Pokemon game is you don't have a Pokemon box or a PC or anything like that. You only have your party. So if you want to add a new Pokemon, whatever else you have in your party currently that you swap them in for is just gone forever. It's no longer in your party. Right now I'm going to skip the Eevee because I don't really care what happens. I don't expect this run to go much longer. Alright, trainer battles. When you do trainer battles, you obviously cannot catch their Pokemon, very similar to the game in that aspect. Also, the EXP you get tends to be higher, but the levels of your opponents also can be a little bit higher. Plus, there's a much higher likelihood of a trainer's Pokemon holding a berry or some sort of healing item, whereas wild Pokemon don't generally do that. So, let me finish dispatching these bugs real quick, and then we'll carry on. Because there's so many more things to go through. I will mention too, as you saw, I just leveled up. In this game, you level continually forever. This is not like the regular games where there's a cap, which would be level 99. In here, you can just go forever, for all time. You don't stop leveling. There is, however, it's split out into 10 rounds at a time, and there's always a cap for those 10 rounds. But like once I get to round 11, the cap is raised again, and so on for round 21, 31, etc. forever. So let's keep going here. Let's see if I can catch you without dying. Also, like I mentioned before, you don't go to Pokemon centers. There's no healing in between battles, none of that. You don't even have items that you can hold onto. Like, you can't just build up a stock of Pokemon. As you see, there's no option here to use an item. So, you really want to play more strategically than I am currently. You really want to figure out how to conserve the PP for your better moves, how to make sure none of your people die. You really want to consider if you want to switch out something you just captured for something you had, because if it has better IVs or just better stats or a better move set, then you probably want to get that in your party, even if you have to sacrifice something you already had. Also, caught Pokemon do not heal when you catch them either, so just a lot of things to keep in mind. Okay, let's just keep on doing the thing here. Okay, if I plan this right, I can end this run on this battle. I know it sounds crazy to want to end a run, but I want to show you the effects that this run had on the start of a new one. So that's what we're doing. I know it's not effective. Okay, one more down. 2 more down, perfect. Kill these bitches. Also, much like the double battles in the regular game, if you want to capture a Pokemon, you cannot do so when there's another one still on the screen. So whenever you get a double battle, you always have to kill at least one of them. Sometimes that will be disappointing because you'll see 2 that you really want to catch out at once. You can only get 1. The Highlander rules, sorry. Okay, let's move along. We're not dead yet. Okay, let's go. Oh, I mentioned the screen before, but I should go more into detail. These top row you'll all see have a price. You have to pay for those. Whenever you get something like a nugget or whatnot, it adds money to you, as well as anytime you beat a trainer or gym leader, that gives you money. And you can buy as many paid items as you want. Like if I were to buy one of these right now, it would use some money, but I could keep buying more things. However, this bottom row, these are free items, these are randomized at the end of every round, and as soon as you choose one, that is it. You are done with the items, it is on to the next round. So I will move on to the next round. Okay, this is my rival, Ivy. You will run into your rival over and over. They're somewhat randomized, but not entirely. This is going to be a very quick battle. Perfect. Double perfect. I am not dead. And I think my last Pokemon is a bug, which will also be weak to fire, so we can get done with this run right now. There we go. Okay, so your first run will probably be a little better than this one because you won't be intentionally trying to throw it, but it'll be similar. Never expect your first run in any roguelike to be good. But now that I have done my first run, let's start a new game. You will now see my list is expanded. It's not just the starter Pokemon from every generation that are available. I now have all the various Pokemon that I caught in my previous run. So there's your Eevee, your Bidoof, Fido, and all the other ones. While I'm on the screen, there's a few other things I should point out. Let's go to Wooloo here. When I select it, I can add it to the party, but you also see these other things. For example, toggle IVs. This displays, the IVs that I have for it. And if you were to go back in the video and check, you'll notice that the IVs available for it here are the one, they match the IVs of the one that I caught. I can also use the candies. I caught one of these. It gave me 1 candy when I caught it, so I have 1 to use. Here you can see I can unlock a new nature for it, in this case passive. I can reduce the point cost. So right now it costs me 2 points to add Wooloo to my party. If I reduce the cost, it will only cost 1. And if I spend 30, I can get an egg of Wooloo, which would potentially hatch one with egg moves, or possibly a shiny, or a better nature. There's a lot of reasons why you could want an egg. I'm not going to do any of those right now because I do not have the candies to do any of those things right now. In fact, yeah, I am going to, real quick, I set up this new profile so that I could do a new run on video for you here to show you what the game is like when you start. Now I'm going to switch over to my usual profile and show you what it looks like after you've done, I don't want to say how many runs, mostly because I don't actually remember, more than a couple, let me put it that way.
2 hours later.
Okay, and we're back. Now, you'll see that things are a little different now. For one, my list is much longer. For second, I have to view the tutorials again, which is a fucking nightmare. But if you look at my Pokemon now, the IVs here are pretty full. On a lot of them, they're pretty near their max. And the reason that is because every time you catch a Pokemon in the wilds, in any of your runs, it will take the IV levels of that Pokemon, or the stat levels, I don't know, whatever. It will take the various stats for that Pokemon and compare them to the stats of all the ones of that type that you've caught previously. And whichever number is highest, it saves that number as the new value for your starting Pokemon roster here. So for example, of every Pikachu I've caught in the game, and it says there's 7 of them, my max special attack was 24, my HP was 29, and same for, attack, defense, speed, special defense, it goes all around. Likewise, you'll see some of these have the little shiny sparkles next to them. That's because I've caught a shiny. And you'll notice on the little stat screen there, when I'm hovering over any of these shinies, it says luck 1. And these are all yellow shinies. In the game there are also blue and red shinies. And I believe I have managed, yeah, here we go, I have a blue one. It says luck 2. Basically, anytime you add a shiny to your party, it increases your luck stat. So when you're on your item screen, where you get some random items you can choose from, this makes it more likely that you will get higher quality rare or super rare items. So boosting your luck is definitely good. You'll also notice in here, for a lot of these, I can choose what gender I want, because I've caught multiple genders. Also, a lot of these were hatched through eggs, so you see the list of egg moves. That means that when this Pokemon starts out, those moves can show up in its starting, right here where I go to manage moves. I can choose which ones I want to be the starting moves based on both its natural starting moves and also those egg moves that it learned. Is there anything else I need to go through on this screen? You'll see a lot of these, their starting cost is in blue and is a smaller number than normal. Like I said, that's because when you get enough candies, you can reduce the cost of a Pokemon, which I have done. And you know what? Let's get a party. Oh, all shinies, just to get some really good luck. Electric, ice, we have rock water, bug. Let's get a psychic in there. And what's left? Why did you have a little weird icon next to you? I don't know. Do I need another psychic? Really don't. I want more shinies. What else do we have for shinies? Yes, I know. The ones with the purple borders will do something special if you add them to your party. I haven't entirely figured out what. I don't really care. But the game keeps reminding me, so I figured I should let you know. Okay, there we go. Now we have a party. It is all shiny. Our luck should be pretty great. When we get to that item screen, it most likely won't be a D. It will most likely be a better letter, indicating that I have a much better luck and will receive much better items. As usual, when you start out, you are always level 5. Is he not shiny? I don't think that he is. But it's just like the regular game. You always start at level 5. Regardless of, how high a level you've caught or had before, it's always going to reset back to 5. Likewise, you may have noticed on that main screen there that you can only select pre-evolved Pokemon. You can only get the base version. You'll never be able to start with something that was evolved. You'll have to evolve up. The only exception being with things like Pichu and Pikachu. In Gen 1, Pikachu was the pre-evolution, and then later on, Pichu was introduced to be a pre-evolution. Both of those are selectable and available. Yeah, my luck is now A-, you'll see. So right off the bat, I'm given better options with the Great Ball instead of Pokeballs at the end of the very first round. And you'll see that my items will keep increasing. I'll keep having better luck because of all my shinies. So now I have some Great Balls, and let's carry on. You see the Pokeball icon there. That is because I have caught Nincada in the past. And I don't know why I just killed the last guy instead of catching him, but... Let's see if we can catch him and just add some more candies, boost our stats a little more. So like I said, those candies are super helpful. You'll see I had 7 for Nincada, now I have 1 more. And that just lets me, like I said, reduce the cost, teach it new moves, do things like that. Here we go. So here is the ultimate of rare items, an ability charm. So it dramatically increases the chances of a wild Pokemon having a hidden ability. And if it does, and I catch it, when I select that Pokemon from my roster, I will have the option to choose that ability to go with my Pokemon. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's kill this bird first so he doesn't murder my bug. An ice move should do it. Oh, that might kill both of them, actually. Did not kill Scatterbug. Also, and I believe it said this in a tutorial earlier, but I'm going to say it now because you guys haven't been reading the tutorials, I don't think. When you have stat changes, when you're poisoned or burned, when your speed or defense or attack are reduced, those changes carry over from battle to battle. They keep going until you either switch it out or use a healing item, or like I mentioned before, the rounds are in groups of 10. Once you get past every 10th round, then your Pokemon are refreshed. They're completely healed up or revived. Their PP is all restored and filled. So if you can make it through 10 rounds, you're in a good spot. Yeah, the way evolutions work in here though, if it's a level evolution, once you hit that level, your Pokemon evolves. However, if it requires an item, this is where that item screen comes in handy. If you have something in your party that can be evolved via an item, that item has a chance of showing up. Now, It will never show an evolution item that does not apply to a Pokemon in your party. And if none of your Pokemon can evolve, you won't see any evolution items. So it will only ever show you things relevant to what you have, which is just something to note. Those normal moves? Sure, you can have that one. But yeah, that's how the evolutions work. And every Pokemon evolution is programmed in. So like if it's one that usually would have to be traded, there's an item called basically the link cable, which is how you used to trade Pokemon in the original Game Boy versions. And if you get the link cable item, that will evolve the tradable ones. Yeah, everything else, your various stones. If you have something like Eevee that can evolve into 100 different things, all of the different stones or items that you would need to evolve it have a chance of showing up. And then you just choose which one you want to use, generally by whichever one shows up first. But yeah, so there's always that. Likewise, if you have a Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, like for example, if you have a Magikarp, the Mega Evolution item does not have a chance of showing up. However, once you evolve that Magikarp into a Gyarados, then the Mega Evolution band can show up as an item. And once it does, then your Gyarados will evolve into Mega Gyarados. Likewise for Charizard and Pidgeot and all the other ones that can Mega Evolve. Oh, also, I mentioned before eggs. On this account, I had a few that were waiting to hatch, and apparently now they're going to do so. You'll see, for example, here in this Alolan Diglett, I just unlocked a new egg move. Let's see if I can fast forward through some of these. Here we go. You'll see for this Drowsy, notice how under max HP it has a little blue +6. That's saying that this current stat, the 29, is 6 points higher than my previous max HP stat. So now, going forward, when I pick Drowsy from the starting menu, it won't be 23, it will be 29 for its max HP. I cannot speak. So it always behooves you to catch as many Pokemon as you can and hatch as many eggs as you can, because there's always a chance of increasing a stat. Or at the very least, getting candies, which you can use to, reduce the cost and do those kinds of things. So it's almost always going to be better for you to catch something when you have the option instead of killing it. Okay. Let's get ourselves some more balls. To that end, you always want to stock up on Pokeballs in here so that you can catch things. Is this going to kill it? Let's find out. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. That's a poor choice. Don't know why I thought that would work in my favor. Okay. And basically, that's the basis of the game. It's just like any other roguelike. Every time you play, you're always giving yourself a little bit more to start from the next time you play. In this instance, you're perpetually getting more candies so that you can, make your Pokemon more appealing. If you catch a shiny or hatch a shiny, it gives you the option to have that Pokemon be shiny when you use it, which increases your luck. Your stats are always going up, all of that. And because of that, your parties get better and better when you create them, and that allows you to get further and further into this infinite battler. And I can keep going, but really, that's it. That's the gameplay loop. From there, I guess the thing is just try to get as far as you can. Get to the absolute highest level, catch the rarest Pokemon, try to catch or hatch all the legendaries, and then catch them enough times that you have candies and can reduce their point cost to regularly put them in your party. And then once you get to that point, if you can start with a party of 6 legendaries, you're basically unstoppable. And I don't know if there's anything else to really show you about the game. What you've seen is how it plays. It's just the standard battle gameplay of Pokemon. So if you enjoy the battle aspects of the Pokemon game, you're going to enjoy this, because at the core of it, that's what you're doing, is you're having an infinite number of Pokemon battles over and over. They just added the extra rogue-like elements to make that a little more fun. And personally, I'm a big fan. This was a fan-created project, obviously. You access it through a web browser. It is not, officially sanctioned by Nintendo. Nintendo would never have the balls to do something like this. They do not like to change up the formula on their games at all. For example, Pokken Tournament, the game eventually did get made, but it only saw an arcade release in Japan. They did not think there was a market for that in the US. We never got it. Likewise, Hyrule Warriors almost did not come to the US at all, because they thought that the US market would not understand the Zelda franchise in a format other than your standard action-adventure. Seeing it in a Musou game like that, they thought would be too much for us to comprehend, and so they were just not going to release it here. Nintendo is adverse to taking any kind of risks or doing anything creative or different with their IPs. So, unfortunately, the only way for a game like this to exist is as a fan endeavor. That being said, these fans really did the work, they put in the effort, and this came out really well. As you saw, the sprites are all very good. Like I said, some are animated, some are not, depending on where they got the sprites from, but they all really look good. The gameplay is solid, all the moves, the items, the Pokemon, everything is represented there, so behind the scenes, it has to be some very robust programming to support all of that. And there's a few things we didn't even see, like there's an item that lets you merge two Pokemon to create a new Pokemon that shares their types and combined movesets, which lets you do some really interesting things. There's achievements, so if you beat certain gym leaders or trainers or reach a certain level or get your stats at a certain point, a lot of different achievements. And every time you get one of them, you'll either unlock a new feature in the game, or you'll get an egg voucher, which you then go into egg-like gachapons, and then from there, you can choose a type of egg to hatch. And as you already saw, when the eggs hatch, you get, whatever random Pokemon. And let me actually show you real quick. Yes, I know what the screen is. Jesus Christ, these tutorials! When you go to the egg gacha, here you go. You can choose, there are 3 different gachas here. I hate these tutorials so much. Ink. Well, thank you for wasting that. Okay, so there are 3 gachas. This one has an increased chance of having whatever special move. I don't know, I never used the move one. Here, that particular legendary is being featured. You have an increased chance of getting an egg for that legendary. And then over here, this is the one I generally go for, which is why I have so many shinies in my roster. You have an increased chance of getting a shiny out of whatever egg you get, regardless of rarity. This is definitely the best bang for your buck, because you still have a chance to get a legendary egg. It won't be whatever specific legendary, it'll just be a random legendary. But over here, there's an increased chance of that legendary also being shiny. So always get this gacha, at least in my opinion, because you can still get the legendaries. As you see, I got a rare egg from both of them. This rare egg now has a much better chance of being shiny than the other one. And as you saw before, shinies increase your luck, which means you get better items, which makes your run that much more, I don't want to say successful, because you're always going to fail, that's how these things are built, but you've got a better chance of getting further with your run. And once you pull the eggs out of those gachapon, they immediately start, working on hatching. When I come here to my shiny list, or my egg list rather, you can see I have a bunch of eggs that are already in progress, that are working on being hatched, and it tells you what kind they are. These ones all say shiny rate up. These 3 are all legendary rate up, so there's a better chance of there being a legendary. In this case, Arceus. Of course, he's not going to come out of a rare egg, so that's just telling me what machine I pulled him out of. And then this last one is the other one I just pulled, again, shiny rate up. And you'll see, it tells you it appears to move occasionally, maybe close to hatching. what will hatch from this, blah, blah, blah. Later on, when it's real close to hatching, it will say, I can hear noises coming inside. This will hatch very soon. Same as you would in the game. And the eggs will all just hatch after a preset number of battles. The rarer the egg is, the more battles it takes. A standard egg, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, I haven't looked it up, but like, let's say the standard egg hatches after 10 battles. A rare egg might be 15 or 20. And then, an ultra egg could be 30 or 40. Legendary egg could be 75. I don't know the exact numbers, but it changes depending, is my point. Anyway, I'm facing my rival again. You know what? No, I'm not going to make you watch more battles. You understand what's going on. I just wanted to take this opportunity to show people this game. I think it's really fun. I think for a fan-made game, it's very well done. It's really impressive what they were able to pull off here. I like some of the mechanics they added to it and how they did make it feel like a real roguelike where each run, regardless of how far you did or did not get, you're adding something to your next run. If you caught a single Pokemon, well, you've added one more Pokemon to your roster, or you've potentially increased the stats for that Pokemon if you choose it in your starting team. You're always gaining something each time. And so I appreciate that. I think they did this really well. It was really fun. If you're a fan of Pokemon and Pokemon battles, you should definitely try this game out. I think you'll enjoy it. Also, I don't know if this was always here, but I just noticed while looking at the menus while switching my accounts, this does support gamepads, which is really cool. Because I've been playing it with a keyboard the whole time, like a jackass, and a gamepad would be much, much better. So, yeah, that's the story here. It's a cool game, definitely worth checking out, definitely worth playing. Like I said, if you like Pokemon, you'll enjoy this, and I think that's all I have to say. So, I don't know, go check it out. Or don't, I'm not your mom.